Thanks everyone for being here. I'm so excited to take you on a mystery. We're just gonna go right into our gameplay. The way we're gonna start is as though we're all watching a TV show. And as you know, there's a intro screen. Actually, we don't know that anymore. We all skip it on Netflix. It's fine. But remember when we used to watch the intros of TV shows. So as the screen pops on and we see our first scene, all of the players, your characters are not here. This is something that is just for the audience. So as we focus in on a young woman, her name is Sarah Harper. She's at work. She has long strawberry blonde dyed hair. It's kind of bright red at the ends and it's kind of fading as it goes up to the roots. She has olive brown skin and hazel eyes. She's wearing a very sharp outfit, like a nice kind of pencil skirt and a blouse that has a lot of detail on it. She's actually surrounded by other types of these outfits, dresses, shirts, skirts, pants hanging on dress forms. There's lots of pencils and design paper all around her, scattered on big drawing board desks. And as she stands up, she looks at the clock. It's about 7, it's late. She stands and traces her finger over one of the fabrics that she's working on. She draws a little pattern with her well-manicured nail, just looks at it lovingly, pats it once, and leaves her office. Driving home into the sunset ahead of her down the road, it stretches forward forever, seemingly past suburbia, whizzing past out the windows. And the sun sets and it's right in her eyes, so she pulls over on the side of the road and takes a moment after a long day, leans on the hood of the car, watches the sun sink below the horizon. Her phone blips, and it's a text from her wife, Maria. Maria Harper, don't forget the groceries for dinner, it bleeps on the screen. And she kind of smiles, looks back in the back seat, and there's bags already full. She had gone shopping earlier and wasn't going to get in trouble for this for once. There's also a bouquet of fresh flowers that she got for her wife. She watches the sunset as it spills into darkness and heads home. The house is empty as she enters. The radio is playing softly in the kitchen, but she doesn't remember having left it on, but you know, they watch or they listen to a lot of news together. So it's possible that one just forgot to flick it off as they both went to work. She heads up to her bedroom and begins to just sink into the bed and relax after a long day of designing, of creating. And the closet door is open, wide open. She doesn't remember leaving it open like that. Stands up, walks over, goes to close it, sees all the dresses that she's created hanging inside, lifeless forms on the plastic hangers. Looks down, notices one of her tape measures is on the floor. That's odd. Why would it be here? She doesn't remember doing anything work-related in the room. Blinks. It's in a different place on the floor, closer to the interior of the closet. Well, that's even odder. Blinks again, sees it moving into the closet, 5 feet to the right of where she saw it last. She steps leadenly forward, following it. What is happening? Into the closet door to retrieve it, goes off the screen, and all you hear are screams. She screams and screams and screams. And then we cut to our monster hunters. All of your phones bleep with some notifications. You have 2 headlines that have just arrived on your phone. One says, renowned clothing designer Sarah Harper goes missing, one of 15 recent disappearances. The second, veteran Snopes reporter Finley Cap denies encounter with monster. These 2 alerts bleep on your phones. It's time to gear up. It's time to get in the van. Gordy, you are the first character stepping into the van. You're going to be the one picking up the rest of the characters. Can you please describe what your character looks like and a little bit about them?
Gordy is fairly tall, about 6'2", tan skin. I have like shoulder length dreads, low undercut, golden brown, dyed golden brown at the ends. Casual clothes, clothes that you can run in, move in, a green hoodie, white tee, comfortable, athletic pants, and glasses, round frame glasses. You're not sure if it's prescription or not by how low I wear them on my face. They're never really pushed up. And a slight scowl. Not Batman-esque, but that's all right. And I tap the steering wheel. It's all right, Persephone. Let's go. And
Awesome.
take off. We had to go get the others.
Great. So in the narration of the intro, we see Gordy driving. We're going to do a quick crosscut to the flashback of this team because we built a beautiful backstory and I want everyone to know it as well. So as Gordy's driving, there's like a little wibble on the screen and we go back in time. They're on their first case, investigating a town that was haunted by their own shadows that moved on their own. Just 3 of them back then. Umbra, before she changed. Gordy, and 4. They found the source of it, mostly thanks to Gordy's research. The Necronomicon, a book pulsing with dark black energy buried deep in the middle of the forest on the edge of town. And they were young, arrogant. They picked up that book. They read from it, thinking they could stop it, dispel it. Wibble, back to the van. We pick up Delilah. Delilah, you see the van pulling around the corner. Please describe your character and any interaction you have as you get into the van.
Yep. So Delilah has been pacing back and forth, like checking her watch, been like, oh my God, all right, it's time to go. Let's go. And she has pale skin, bright blue eyes, like a short jet black messy hair, and a beat up black leather jacket that she's carrying over her arm because it's warm. I've decided it's warm. And she's just wearing like a black tank top and beat up jeans and worn combat boots. And she's just like, finally like throwing up her hands, seeing the van. And when it comes to a halt, she throws open the side of the door. It's like, what took you so long? Let's go. We gotta go get everybody else.
Yeah, you gotta get in.
I'm in. The door's shut. I'm shutting. Look, I'm shutting it right now. Let's go.
Look back over the seat. All right.
Is today the day? Can I drive today? Can I drive?
Nope. And I
come on.
And we continue on. Get the others.
As the van screeches away from the curb, the screen shimmers again. The reading from the book had the opposite effect. The shadows around them grew taller, stronger. A force bigger than them emerged directly from the book, horrific, hungry, loving fear. They took out their weapons, prepared to fight it. A young woman ran through the forest looking scared but angry, like she was running from something other than shadows. They found out later she totaled her car, but that night she ran right into their problems. The shadow monster from the book grew and grew. Whipples, back to real life. 4, you see the van coming up to the curb. Please describe your character and any interactions you have as you enter the van.
4 is a like 5'5" petite Asian femme. They wear like very fashionable clothes, sort of like a white jacket with like sort of golden accents. They have like a short bob and like very severe bangs and a very like sort of like serious expression on their face. They sort of like open the van door and kind of nod and make eye contact with everybody and go, Delilah's still not allowed to drive?
No, I definitely am sitting shotgun though, and I've been chatting Gordy's ears off this entire time.
Well, one of these days, I bet he'll let you drive. Gotta be soon, right?
It better be soon. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to prove to you that I can drive this thing?
You see, the problem isn't that I don't think you can drive it.
Oh.
The problem is what you do when you drive vehicles.
I'll be careful.
Yeah, you're not who I'm worried about.
Look, I'll ride shotgun when she drives, and I'll keep it. I'll keep it. And I flash a little bit of like runic magic off my fingers. It'll be fine. Let her drive one of these days. Just next person we pick up, we'll just switch her out.
Yeah. Listen to them.
I'll think about it.
I look at Delilah and like a nod, like
Yeah, you know.
progress. It's
Yeah,
progress.
It's progress. Better than yesterday.
The van shudders away from the curb. Black smoke is pluming out of the back of it, and it mixes in with the black paint that's kind of covering up the side of your van, where the Necronomicon is written, or Necronomic Club, excuse me, is written in kind of a curly font with a face on the book that, from depending on where you're standing, it either looks angry or happy. Very, very deceptive painting. The screen wibbles again, and we fade back to the past. The shadow monster attacked the group, and that's when 4 summoned all their magic and cast a containment spell. They leaned in, put all their energy into keeping the shadows back, and for a second, they thought it worked. Light-filled ropes wrapped around the shadows, but then the darkness seeped through, destroying 4's magic, and a burst of shadowy energy crackling, filled with the sound of screams, emitted from the center of the beast, headed straight for the group, and that's when the unthinkable happened. Back to present day. Umbra, you see the van approaching your house. Please describe your character and any interactions you have as you step into the van.
Umbra is now like 6'4". In terms of her aesthetic and fashion, they tend to wear like tank tops and just like joggers, essentially tech wear. They're very much ready to get into a fight aesthetically at all moments time. Their hair, some purple and red locks that are in like a bun and shaved on the sides. As she is sitting there just like on her phone, and you just hear like the occasional little like sharp sting of like a horror movie sound. She's just watching a jump scare compilation. And as she just like does a little bit of a stretch of like just ready to fight, and swings open the back of the van and climbs in. All right, so what am I killing today?
Sup, Umbra?
Doing the best I can.
Did you get that creepy pasta I sent you?
It made a good snack. I'll be real. It was a little trite at the end, but if you don't send it to 10 people, you'll die in 6 days. Is really common, so it's fine.
I just liked the turn, and like sometimes it's just a snack, I'll do better for next time.
I mean, so I've been getting really into experimental horror filmmaking. So if you find something that seems borderline illegal when it was filmed, that's a good one. That one will keep me good for a minute.
Gotcha. I'll ask Gordy for help.
Now that you say that, I reached back and hand Umbra an iPad. Found this.
Oh, hell yeah. And it's just like, I assume a very low budget, like grindhouse horror movie.
Yeah, extremely low budget. $5 in a dream low budget.
This is the good shit. Yes. And
Camera
I think
shakes.
like there's almost for a quick second a very bestial like smirk as you see like just for a splash, like a quick row of fangs that like dissipate for a second as she is just watching this, like just kind of relaxing.
As the van again pulls away from the curb, this time clouded in the dark smoke emitting from the back of it and the sound of screams coming from this tablet. The screen fades back into the past again, and we see Umbra leapt in front of the group, absorbing the shock of the shadowy blast entirely. The group watched in horror as shadows twisted and then cooled and hardened around Umbra, forming a second oily, pulsing skin. In this moment, Gordy ran for the book, quickly scanned the pages, and saw a passage written backwards in Latin. With quick thinking, Gordy read the passage and the book shut, trapping the shadow creature inside. But Umbra was forever changed, having saved the lives of the group, but left with the ability to turn into a version of a shadow monster herself, one that eats fear. We'll wibble back to present day. And last but not least, the van pulls up not to a curb to pick up a person, but side by side with another car, a small, well-kept Prius. Uncle Joe, please describe your character.
God damn it. You see, a very well-meaning, very lively-looking man. He's kind of leaning against his car, kind of tapping his foot. Probably around 5'8", 5'9". a little bit, he seems like someone who enjoys the outdoors, and by that I mean, like, you know, a little rugged, definitely looks kind of, you know, has like a little bit of that muscle, but definitely someone who kind of has a little, you know, enjoys a couple beers while out there in the woods, goes fishing. He has his flannel on. You see him having some long hair, but he's wearing a beanie over the top of it to hide kind of like the receding hairline that's happening. But he has a glorious beard, something that just kind of just goes down to this length. And he kind of just like, so it seems like he's like watching out for someone, like looking around. Are we near Four's home, or like a place where Four would normally visit or something?
Yeah, definitely. Probably like a mutual family member's house, and
Yeah.
you're just staked out front.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just kind of like waiting around. Yeah, just a regular old dude hanging out.
Have we
I
met you
think-
before? Is this the first time we've met you, or have we?
I don't think you've probably met me yet.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I think I roll down the window in the back and I go, hey, Uncle Joe.
Four, buddy, partner.
Hi.
It's been forever.
It's been a long time.
Oh, how you been?
I'm good. Do you understand what we're going to do?
These your friends? Are these all your friends right here?
Yeah.
You brought your uncle.
Yo,
That-
hi. My name is Joe, Jim, Bob, Just Jason of George Jackets and Jeans. Nice to meet you. Here you go. And he hands him and he hands you a business card, and on it says Jim's George Jackets and Jeans.
He has a fancy version that's made out of denim, but those are expensive, so he doesn't give those out so often.
We don't go for the cheap stuff out here. All right.
Sup, Uncle Joe?
Sup? So I just was here and I wanted to hang out, but I guess you guys had some plans. So I wanted to see if I can tag along. Is that all right?
Yeah. Are you
Oh,
sure
yeah.
you understand what we're going to go do?
Something horror film, something along those lines. I don't know. Like I heard ghosts, and I assumed like this was like a Halloween party you're going to or something.
It's kind of like a Halloween party. It's like
Got
But
it.
so much cooler.
Oh, fun. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not Halloween yet, so I don't have any.
Every
outfits,
day's
so this is-
Halloween.
But you know, there's no
hard enough.
stores. There's nothing out there for me
Need
to
a
buy anything. I
store.
kind of just have my jeans and denim style short, and you see him wearing like pointing to his pants, which is like just. So
honestly, that outfit rips, Uncle Joe. But I want to make sure you know. do you like where we're going? You might need like a gun or something.
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I have one. I haven't fired it in a while. But are we going to like a range? It's like a coverage? I'm not really. I mean,
here,
it's kind
what-
of just meant for protection. It's not really something I don't use. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Is it a Nerf gun?
Yeah, it's like a one of those tiny
Like
pea
little pea
shooters.
shooters.
Yeah.
Why don't you get in and someone who's not as close to this can explain what's going on?
Oh, I got my Prius. I can drive. I can
Oh.
follow along with that.
Sure. Okay.
I can call
Well,
you if you want to talk. I can.
Yeah, I'll
it
put you
has
on
Bluetooth.
speaker.
It's got Bluetooth,
Very
so I can
cool,
just hear
Uncle
you.
Joe.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
Technology,
Yeah.
man, it's crazy. But yeah, I'll follow you.
Cool. I'll
behind,
put you
right?
on speaker, and maybe I think Delilah should explain what we're gonna go do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds cool. All right.
So-
Okay.
As the van and now the Prius in tow pull away from the curb, the van pulls towards its next destination, kind of the shimmering of the past and present blurring into this moment. And there's a Prius that follows them, driven by Uncle Joe. He adjusts his mirror, buckles his seatbelt, checks his blind spots twice, pulls away from the curb, following the sputtering smoke of the Necronomiclub's van. Before our title screen flashes, Monster of the Week, Buffy style, we're going to have a bunch of quick clips of cool action shots that your character has done in a previous episode to really hook people in. So like in one sentence, as everyone's kind of flip, 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 flip across the screen, what do we see your character do that's really badass? Let's go reverse order. Uncle Joe.
Oh, you see him. Like I said, he's an outdoors man. So you see him. Actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to flash back way back when, to perhaps when Four was quite young, maybe like 9 or 10 years old. And it's just them hanging out on a camping trip. You see Uncle Joe chopping wood with his axe that he has in the back of his Prius. Wasn't a Prius back then, but just something that he brought along, and just kind of having they would share these moments together. They were very close at one point, but hey, kids grow up, and you kind of have different differences in opinion, differences in what you think is fun. So this is him now coming back together with him, just wanting to reconnect with four them.
With Four and Uncle Joe in this flashback sitting around the fire, the smoke rises and kind of clouds and obscures the screen. And when it clears, we see a quick clip of Umbra. Umbra, what is your character doing?
I think you see her walking forward in full like shadow monster regalia, as she is like, her eyes are a like red, deep red, and she is walking, dragging a huge sword behind her, and her right hand just clawed and ready to strike. And that's it.
With the glint off the light of your claws, it flashes and the screen goes white to black. And then we see Four. Four, what is your character doing?
It's like a dark library of some kind, and it's Four is casting some big magic. There's a floating book in front of them, and their eyes are just like two dark black pits. And I think this camera just like zooms in onto the black pits and then like flashes black.
With the black of the screen, it kind of cracks and splinters, revealing the next scene of Delilah. And what is your character doing?
Delilah is diving through the window of a car that isn't working, and getting the motion, just like ripping out the wires and hot wiring it, and getting in the driver's seat, and like looks out the window and shifts it in drive, and is just ready to go.
And as the tires squeal on the pavement, you see like the marks kind of driven into the asphalt, and the camera dives into them, into the darkness. And then when the light reveals the next scene, it's Gordy. Gordy, what is your character doing?
You see Gordy driving a dagger, an obsidian blade that came from the incident, into an indeterminate monster, and then turns and fires off a few shots from his magnum, and then pushes his glasses up, and you get the the glare on it.
And in the flash and glare on your glasses, the title, Monster of the Week, appears. And then it goes to black and it says, GM'd by Insight Checked, and thank you, Just the Human, you're amazing. And as the titles fade, we are now in our episode. All of your phones are blaring. You have 2 messages on your phones. Renowned clothing designer Sarah Harper goes missing, one of 15 recent disappearances. And veteran Snopes reporter Finley Cap denies encounter with monster. As the van rumbles along and as the Prius follows, I'd like the party to decide who is going to investigate what. So I'd like a party split. And I would also like you guys to tell me what happens next, as it is now the start of the show.
I think Four would want to go check out the Sarah one, because Four is kind of into fashion. So like maybe it may be like, oh my God, like this fashion designer that I'm familiar with, like, oh, I got to figure out what happened to her.
I don't want to deal with a reporter, considering the everything about me. So I would also like to go with Team Fashion.
I'll go to the reporter. I got no shame.
I'll go to the reporter.
I think Joe's gonna go wherever Four is gonna go, so he's gonna follow along. And hey, he probably maybe heard of this fashion designer, considering he's in the threads industry, the business.
Maybe you can network. When we save her, then you can network. And also, I'll be honest, Umbra and I are not great with people. So
that's fine.
You might, you got a skill set.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. There we go. What works that?
Thanks,
So are you taking Uncle Joe's Prius?
Yeah, because Gordy's taking
They're not taking Persephone.
That's
that.
Yeah, we'll hop in. I'll ride. Actually, I'll get in the back because Umbra's pretty tall and you
Okay,
know,
okay.
you can't.
Leg room.
Yeah, you need the leg room. I'm small. Like
Just
you get used to
6'4" in a Prius.
I've seen
Suffering.
it.
So
I've
Yes.
seen it before. It's-
I'll
You
sit
see, like-
behind Uncle Joe. You sit in the shotgun. You put the seat all the way back.
Yeah. And you just see Uncle Joe's like, all right, everybody buckle up.
Oh,
And you actually see him wait, like
Yeah.
making sure everybody buckles up. All right, let's go. Cool. And then he's like, "Oh, do you want to use the GPS? We can use the GPS. Yeah, it can navigate to put where you want to go. Put it in. It works. It works really well."
Yeah, we don't know how to get there, so we'll just put the address in for sure.
Okay.
I thought you were telling Uncle Joe I don't know how to get there.
No, we don't. We just know the address.
Okay.
You know when you're talking to your parents, they're like, "Well, how do you? Here's the directions." I'm like, "Just give me the address. I don't know."
Yeah. I save us all some time.
I get it. I go east and I go north. Whatever. Just give me the address.
Go past the second Wendy's and take a right.
No, don't make me count Wendy's. Don't make me count Wendy's.
All right.
As the priest pulls away, you hear, "Don't make me count Wendy's." We will follow the journey of Persephone first, as Gordy and Delilah remain in the Necronomicon Club's van. Point of order, where is the Necronomicon, the sealed book that you guys had from your very first adventure? Where would you keep that arcane, horrific item?
It is in the van.
Definitely in the van.
It's in the van. I have a little compartment, you know, like how like they have like a first aid kit.
Yep.
It was hanging on a wall, so I have a lockbox just on the inside of the van. Got to keep it close, you know.
And I've probably
Just
like
protect it.
warded it up and like done some like runic stuff to make sure that it like magically stays closed too.
And then
Give me
on
a
top of it-
use magic roll retroactively to see how well that spell went off.
I love that. And just for everybody at home, the hex, when I miss on a use magic roll, it goes wonky for people around me.
Oh, joy.
Oh, good.
That's you know what? It's appropriate. My first roll is a 4. I rolled 2 1s plus 2 weirds.
Oh, no.
Joy.
That's where I got my nickname, I guess.
Yes.
So on your use magic roll, unfortunately, you think that you pulled off this spell, and you've described many times to the others how like it'll be impossible to break it open and it'll be impossible to do this and that. But it's one of those where it's like, yeah, the cabinet's locked, and then like you see someone like open it and like grab a snack and close it. Like it's been opened and closed many times, but it's never when you're looking at it. So you 4 believe that it's pretty airtight.
It's locked down. There not a
Yes.
single being in the universe could get into this cabinet.
It's also the
And-
first aid kit, so
yeah. Actually, Gordy has opened it to get the first aid kit out many times.
I definitely store snacks in there.
With your hex, is there anything special other than the fail command on the use magic roll that's special for your playbook?
It says bad luck charm. Whenever you use magic and miss, the backlash never affects you directly if there's someone else around to hit. It'll go for allies, other hunters, and innocent bystanders. Sometimes, every so often, it might even hit an enemy.
So describe how you were hoping to seal this case.
I think so. Given like the shadowy nature of what we've done, it's probably like some sort of like tripwire that's supposed to like set off some sort of like flash bang, or like maybe like a sort of like a bear trap made of light almost, you know, sort of like to try and like keep it from getting out. And then like I guess my intention was to make it so that people who were like you couldn't get into it. It would be like magically locked, but clearly just people just can just go in and get their stuff whenever.
Okay, so in addition to it being totally open, there's going to be a penalty if you guys are ever in a chase scenario in the van, and then you fail a roll. You're going to have the bear trap of light go off and blind the driver.
Oh no. Then I have to drive.
Oh,
God.
Look, these two ones on the dice were a gift to Shannon and only Shannon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So as the van pulls, you guys kind of diverge your paths. So the Prius turns right, goes down the street in pursuit of one of the leads. And the van kind of does a full circle, and there's a bit of a scuffle as the van is shaking as Gordy and Delilah are fighting over who gets to drive the van. Presumably this is resolved, and the van then straightens course and turns down the other path. You all find yourself in front of the reporter Finley Cap's home. He is a Snopes reporter. He's well known for getting to the bottom of things and debunking myths. And again, the headline is, he has denied an encounter with a monster. You know nothing else about him. He did some quick cursory Google searching, but you find yourself in front of his home. It's a very stately, kind of one-story ranch with like a little white picket fence that's too short to really keep out anything, and it's exclusively decorative. Big flagstones that lead up to the front door. So as we last left our heroes, they had just approached the door of someone named Finley, who is a Snopes reporter, and they had begun interrogating him. He will not open the door, and he seems to be scribbling down their answers. You're not going to write clickbait articles about me, are you?
No. Why would
Who does that?
So many people.
Okay, well, not us.
Yeah, you've met some weird people, but can you open the door?
Why should I do that?
It's easier to have a conversation face to face than through a piece of wood.
That, and I don't know how trusting you are of your neighbors. They might, start to wonder why two people are just on your doorstep talking through a door.
Gordy, can you helm this manipulate someone role? And if you'd like to help, Delilah, you're welcome to help.
I
But you'll
absolutely
expose yourself
would.
to the consequences.
That's fine. I want to help. I want to help. Delilah likes to help.
All right, -1 charm, baby. Let's get it.
Oh, I had +2.
How does the help work? How does that work?
It adds a
Because-
+1. And for anyone watching who wants to donate for the fundraiser, the charity today, your donation will add a +1 to rolls as well.
Great. So with a +1 -1 +3 is a 3.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, mark experience. I got to mark experience too.
Yes,
Corey.
please
yeah.
mark experience. Whenever you
Oh.
fail in this game, you learn from your
Yeah.
experience.
We're gonna hard level, baby. Let's go.
It's power leveling time.
Yeah.
Delilah, what did
Power
you get
level.
from your help out roll?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was supposed to help. Hold on. I give you the
Typical
rules.
Delilah.
Yep. Roll plus cool. Okay. Ooh. 6 + 1 is 7 + 1 is 8.
8. So you're successful in helping out Gordy. It's the menacing way you're standing behind him with your arms crossed, kind of tapping your foot, looking like you might want to start some shit.
Yeah.
And that's quite intimidating to this person behind the door. However, the reason you gave Gordy that people might start to wonder and, get suspicious doesn't seem to move him. And he cracks the door open a little bit more so you can see his full face. He's got kind of a salt and pepper hair all tousled on top of his head. He's got ruddy cheeks, kind of saggy a little bit with the skin, watery eyes, and those little square spectacles.
Mhm.
And he kind of pokes his head out and he's like, people can think what they want. People are always misled and misunderstanding what's really happening, but I get to the bottom of things. And I'm not letting 2 strangers in my house. Ask me your questions out here. Fine, ask them, but you're not getting any details about me and mine.
100% don't care about you and yours. I just want to know what you
Same.
saw, or
Yeah.
once again, what you saw or claim you didn't see.
But I think
That-
you did see it.
Yeah, I definitely think you did see it.
Yeah.
See what?
That monster, headline, and I like show the headline, like, you claim that, yeah.
For the
What's up with
last
it?
time, for the last time. This time he's getting angry and opens the door, wrenches it open even wider. You see he's wearing a bathrobe. It's like a purple fuzzy bathrobe. It's a very like pandemic look of him, like slippers, and he's got like a business shirt on top, like maybe he was on a Zoom call, but then the bottom is just all kinds of slouch. And he's standing there and he's like, for the last time, the picture that I posted online is not of a monster. It's just a trick of the light. I work for Snopes, god damn it.
The door is open, right?
Yes, it is. He's
Yep.
just opened it in his anger.
All right. Let's go, Delilah. And I
Let's go.
push him. I just push him in.
Yeah. And
We
as
just
he's
go inside.
pushing, I'll just kind of like do like the jinx things, like, listen, pal, whatever you think that you did or didn't see, we're the type of people that deal with things that we deal with tricks of the light. So we would love just try us. Whatever you think you saw or didn't see.
So are you pushing your way past him into his home?
I pushed him backward and I walked inside. So now we're face to face and Delilah's doing the thing. And I close the door.
All right.
We don't care about you. We don't care about yours. We don't care about who you work for. Give a damn about a trick of light or whatever. That's what we want to see. We want to see your pictures. We want to get the information. Whatever you wrote down, didn't write down. We just need your account of the situation. That's it. That's all. I really don't care about anything else. That's what we came for. And once we get that, we'll be on our way.
So as you're in the entryway of his home, all around you on the walls, you see framed pictures of his past articles. So it says, you just had a quick glance, like, this debunked, this is a myth, this is fake news, like all over the place. He is prolific and also seems very interested in telling people that things aren't real. He's standing there completely flabbergasted that his home has been breached by two strangers, and he hears you kind of, it's like that, like vague, I'm listening, but I'm not listening, as he's searching around, and his eyes are darting around, and you see this, and he's not answering you. What do you guys do?
I want to read a bad situation. I think I always want.
How do you do that? What is your character doing? I
kind of key in on him to see what he's trying to do and I'm trying to what's the word? Make a guess at what his next action would be.
Awesome. So as you try to anticipate his next move, and you're trying to track where he's looking.
Anticipate, that's the word.
Anticipatory, read a bad situation, please. Or actually, so that's why I pause on this. I would actually like you to act under pressure as you do this.
I'll act under pressure. So I can roll with sharp instead of cool because of I've read about this sort of thing. Ooh, I know this type of person, this paranoid type. That is a 10.
A 10, nice. So on a 10, you do what you set out to do. So you are able to see that he is looking at the table where there are 3 heavy candlesticks, decorative, and he's intending to grab one and potentially use it against you as he is feeling threatened.
Can I
What do you do?
manipulate someone?
What does Delilah do?
What does she do?
Make the situation worse. So you
Yeah, right.
I'm about to. So
are you?
What is Delilah gonna do?
I mean, can we retroactively say that what I said's like, we deal with tricks of the light, kind of, can we use that as my manipulating someone?
You have to have an ask. So what do you want him to do, and what are you going to give him in return?
All right. I mean, I want him to show us this picture and explain it to us, like what he's denying. Because he's lying. He's totally lying.
As Delilah tries to think of a way to get leverage on this guy in his bathrobe, Gordy, you see him going for the candlesticks. What do you do?
Oh, I draw Melissa, my magnum.
All right. As you draw your gun, he freezes. And he's like, listen, I don't want any trouble. I don't want to die over this. I was investigating some of the disappearances and I took a picture and people were like, oh, there's a monster in your picture. There's no goddamn monster. Get out of my home. I don't want to die over this.
Let's see the picture. I don't want to kill you over this.
No, we don't even want to be here.
Yeah, your place sucks.
It's like, who does this?
Yeah,
like,
it's not my type of decor. It has too much character.
Way too much. Just show us the damn picture.
Don't have any vaulted ceilings. It's just, come on. Let's see the picture.
With your banter, he's reaching shakily into his bathrobe, but he does one of those like just no threats as he reaches in, and he pulls out his phone, and with a shaky, quivering hand, with kind of like over large fingers with like rings that like don't fit, and they're like his class like high school ring, but it's like,
God,
he shouldn't be wearing it. It's like the time has passed. He like shakily clicks on the article and shows you, And the two of you, as you lean in, you see a photo of, it's a kitchen cabinet in someone's home, and it's open. You can kind of see the contents inside. From the lighting in the photo, you can tell it was taken in like a night mode, or like the lighting was not great in this room. You do see on the floor some cans have been like pushed out of the cabinet, and you can see what was identified as a monster. In the corner of this cabinet, you see kind of like a transparent but like milky white with like spots, like a wiggly shape that like makes like an S and like has like a point at the end. Like it's like snaking out of the cabinet, but it kind of looks like light trails in some way, but it's just so odd that it's like draped around the bottom of the door. And he points at it and he says, "It's night mode, you
Did you take this picture?
Of
Phone
course.
sucks.
Oh,
Need a better
So
phone.
all right. So I put I still Melissa. I take the picture. I don't want him to give. I don't want to. I just get the picture to my phone or print it. AirDrop. That's it. Yeah, I AirDrop it. I AirDrop the phone because I don't want him to have my number. AirDrop it. I said, all right. So to see, was that so hard? I pat him on the head, give him a hug, and I leave. Let's go, Delilah. We got. Is there anything else? Is there anything else except other than this? Anything
give
else?
me an investigative mystery roll as you ask that question.
Ready? All right. That is another 10.
Ooh.
Nice. So on a 10, you get to hold 2. So if you have that list of basic moves pulled up, there's a set of questions there, and you get to pick 2 of them to ask.
It's an investigative mystery, right?
Mhm.
What was it? Where did it go? And what happened here?
So as you ask him, is there anything else? When you ask, where did it go? What are you referring to?
The light, the milky white spot, the thing that's described as the monster. Like
He kind of rumples his face and he just has just a whole sour, crunched look. He's so upset. He's like, look, I didn't. Okay, so I kind of saw it with my naked eyes too, but
Naked.
Be serious.
Sorry.
she 100% is. That's the problem.
The light retracted back into the cabinet, and then there was like a zipping sound, and I assumed it's because I stepped on something. Okay, that's all I saw. That's where it went.
Did
The
you
light-
step on something?
I
Oh.
did. No, but I
Okay,
could
so
have.
then, but did you?
I can't Snopes confirm or deny this. I have not yet investigated if I stepped on something or not.
God, you're annoying.
What was your other question, Gordy?
I think it was what happened here.
And specifically, what do you wish to know about?
Why? So okay. So where? What happened here? What made you? What made him? Why was he in that area? What made him go to the specific place to look at, the specific cabinet, trying to find whatever?
He stows his phone huffily in his bathrobe pocket and says, so there's been a lot of disappearances, right? And people were all worried that there's some funny business, some magical anomalies. And you know how people just start going off the rails with their wild theories. And so they called me in to say, is magic real? And as I have proven many times, and he gestures at the wall, it is not. It's a serial killer. It's a trick of light. It's a trapdoor. It's a trick. That's all there is to this. I was there to prove once and for all that these 15 disappearances are not related to magic. And this photo is just an anomaly. It's probably just a serial killer that has some kind of elusive way of getting people out of the homes. I haven't quite cracked the case yet, but
You
I'm
listening
snoping
to
it.
yourself?
I'm snoping it.
Good God.
Well, I guess that's all. That's all we have.
I have one more question. What was this at a particular house? Was this at Sarah Harper's house? Where'd you
No.
take this photo?
No, it's her neighbor of hers.
A neighbor of hers. Ah.
serial killer. See what I'm saying?
I lean in. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's all we have. And I lean into him, and I point to the scar that's like that's across my face, and I said, I assure you, magic is real.
And I'll lean in next to him and go, yeah.
And the camera ends with the two of you on either side of him, and he's just like, "Ah." That's where we'll freeze that scene. We'll cut over to our other investigators.
Internet high five. That was awesome.
Terrifying energy.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. So at the house of Sarah Harper, the Prius pulls up in front. You see
The dichotomy between the two of those.
it is a nice brownstone. There's a small porch in the front, well manicured lawn. It looks like someone really loves taking care of rose bushes. And the windows, you can see there's like someone moving around inside, and the curtains are open and the windows are blowing in the curtains are blowing in the breeze. What do you guys do?
I think on the way I actually went and read the articles because it's I figured there'd be more information in there, and then sort of like explain, Uncle Joe, we're sort of doing, it's like, oh, like, you know, Scooby-Doo. It's kind of like
yeah.
kind of like that. We're gonna go and this woman has disappeared, and we're gonna talk to her wife. I assume her wife is the one that's at home. Again, Umbra and I are not great with people.
So this is not a Halloween party.
It's not. It's really not.
Okay.
A lot more
Okay.
emphasis on the tricks than the treats. Yeah.
Okay.
But what we want to do is probably, you know, be very respectful of this person's home, and, you know, this person's missing, so we just want to be gentle with her, and I find that when we're gentle, we get answers, and the problem is, at least I get like kind of frustrated really fast, and then the gentleness just goes away, and then we don't get answers. But maybe you could talk to her and be like a friendly face. You've always been really good with people, so.
Oh, thank you. I mean, sure. I mean, I'm a little out of my element, but I can. Yeah. And you could say it sounds more like he's just doing this because he wants to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, sure, whatever it is, whatever this is, let's go.
Yeah, we'll go and we'll just ask her some questions, and you know, if we'll be fine. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, lead the way.
Yeah, I guess I'll walk up to the door. I'll look over at Umbra and kind of like give like a sheepish thumbs up, like I brought my uncle on an investigation. And I'll knock on the door.
As you knock on the door, it takes a minute, but the door opens wide open, and you see standing there a young woman, mid-30s. She has dark olive skin, kind of black hair in loose curls at her shoulders, dark eyes, and she's wearing just kind of like a V-neck tee and some what are those, sweatpants, but like kind of like you wouldn't leave the house in these, like just very like interior wear. And she just has like dark circles under her eyes. The shirt, you can tell, is a little rumpled. And as you look closer, like her hair is kind of like not done up right, you know, like it's just kind of like off place, maybe like she rolled out of bed this way. And you can see her hands are shaking a little bit, and she stands at the door and she's like, hello?
What was her name again? What was her full name again?
Well, we know it was Sarah Harper who got, so it was like, I guess, Mrs. Harper.
Okay. Hello, Mrs. Harper. Is this sorry, is this a good time? I apologize for coming in all of a sudden, but are you free to chat for a second, if you don't mind?
Can I ask, who are you?
Oh, my name is Jim. I'm or Joe. Well, you can call me Jim too, but I'm and he kind of just doesn't really know what to say. He kind of looks at Four.
We're like amateur paranormal investigators, and we're just looking into some reports of things that have happened.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to ask you some questions about stuff that happened, and we're really sorry. And oh my God, this is clearly a bad time, but Uncle Joe, this is Uncle. I'm four. This is Uncle Joe. This is Umbra.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hey.
I'm so sorry for your current situation. Do you mind if we take a I guess as you say, like paranormal investigators, you see Uncle Joe looking at you, like each word as you're saying, his eyebrows rise higher and higher as to what the hell's happening. And he goes, and yeah, we're investigators, I suppose.
Yeah, we're really good. We're good at investigating paranormal
You're so
stuff.
convincing right now, dear Lord.
Umbra.
I told you we're about.
Umbra, as this is happening, you feel the fear in this woman, just a low-key, constant fear and sadness and grief, but there's fear in there too. Can you make me a roll, I believe it's an act under pressure roll to resist the temptation of feeding on this fear?
I hope. Okay. So I didn't roll great. So I'm just gonna take that experience. And I think I'm just going to lean against the door a little bit. So we are a club called the Necronomicon Club, and we look out for all the things that go bump in the night, the things that keep you awake, the things that when you think no one else will believe you, that's what we're here for. Have you experienced something like that recently? And like there is a clear desire to like stoke up some fear as I'm saying this.
Everything you describe, every pause, every bump in the night, you feel, actually, maybe it's like a thrumming in your ears. You kind of are tuned into her heartbeat as it goes faster and faster. And you feel this fear, and it satiates you in the way that like a really good snack does. Like it just feels like you were hungry and now you feel full, as her fear leaches out into the creature that is within you, the monstrous being that has merged with you. And you feel better, and she feels worse. I have. Come in, please. No one wants to talk about this stuff, but she just wouldn't leave like that. And all her stuff was here. And come in. She gestures you to follow.
I try to make eye contact with Umbra and go like, what are you doing?
I like make the universal, my bad, but at least, we got in, crack a few eggs.
Yeah, follow in.
You just Jim just sits down. As long as if she like points to a seat or something, he'll sit down. He just seems so out of place. He just feels so like he's out of it. Like he doesn't understand what the hell's happening, but he just kind of looks out around.
He's wearing jorts, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Actually, yeah. You know what? Why not? Yes. Marketing.
As you all sit down, she sits with the familiar kind of slump of someone who's seen something strange. You've seen this in so many witnesses that you've interviewed, and she's fidgety. And because of Umbra's stoking of her fears, you also can all like see like her palms. She's like wiping them against one another. She's just very, very anxious. And then she starts up and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Are you thirsty? Do you need any water? And then she immediately sits down again. Like she's just kind of in a glitching mode of emotion.
Hey, it's okay. Do you have any tea? I could make you some tea. It seems like you need some, little something to help you relax. I could make you something if you don't mind me using your kitchen.
Sure. That there's fresh groceries on the counter. I haven't unpacked them yet. Please.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then so you see Jim get up, and before he gets up, he leans into Four and he goes, "Play nice," and then walks off to make him some tea.
Do you have Mrs. Harper? Do you have any cinnamon? Uncle Joe makes really good cinnamon tea.
I think there must be some in the bag. I asked my wife to pick up extra, and she went shopping and came home with flowers for me. And sorry, I'm Maria, by the way. You can call me
hi.
Maria. She came home everything was normal and she just wasn't here. And you have to believe me, she just didn't leave. And something weird happened. I have this sense in the room when I was in the room, like something was watching me. You don't like, they didn't believe me, but I just felt like something was wrong, that something terrible happened to her.
For the record, I believe you.
I believe you too.
I believe you too.
How do For and Umbra proceed with the conversation? What are some things you'd like to know from her?
I probably, as soon as we like, I'm waiting for Uncle Joe to come back with the tea, and then I'm going to ask her if she can take us to that room so we can look at it. But for now, I want to like just tread carefully, because I just know myself. I'm like, if I'm not careful, we're just going to get kicked out, and it's going to be a bad time.
And Umbra?
I think I'm going to ask less about the like minute to minute, but from a sensory level, what did it feel like? Did it feel heavy? Like stuff like that, because I think I'm more of a sensed based like hunter.
So are you trying to like put feelers out for like paranormal activity?
Yep.
Give me an investigate a mystery roll.
Right.
As For awkwardly stares at Maria, and Maria awkwardly stares at For, and they're both trying to navigate this awkward space.
You have a really nice house, I think.
Thank you.
Okay, investigate mystery, and I have all right, +1 sharp. That is a 10.
A 10. You have hold 2. Go ahead and pick 2 questions from that list, but it should be relating to how Umbra is feeling this out. So information that you could glean from the way you're investigating.
Okay. I think I'd sort of cut through the awkward tension. I'm like, okay, so yesterday when you got home, what can you describe exactly how you were feeling and how the air felt? If you know something like it sounds a little ridiculous, but investigating things based on even vibes and sensory stuff is important. And I think that's me sort of asking, what sort of creature is it?
Great. So as you ask that, and Uncle Joe returns with a warm cup of tea, you hear the clatter of porcelain of the cup on the saucer as she takes a sip and sets it back down with a shaking hand. And she describes what can only be what you guys would know to be kind of an invisible but very tangible presence. So she describes in the room, like just feeling as you say, like the vibe of like being watched, but like also things being out of place in the room, things that should have been in certain places moved. And she couldn't think of any reason why her wife would have moved them. So you're able to glean that there is a physical tangibility to this being, but that it's also not able to be perceived, at least with Maria's eye.
Okay, perfect.
And from your knowledge of creatures like that, you're thinking it's got to be some kind of bestial thing, because of the tangibility, you're thinking it's not like a ghost or like a spirit or something like that.
Good, because that means I can fight it. And I think the other thing is, where did it go by like sensory? Once again, where did that sensation leave? And does it feel like it still lingers around this area at all?
So at that point, I think she would put the saucer down, and you saw that she drank about half the cup, and she considers that a victory. She lets you know that she hasn't had a lot to eat or drink since her wife's disappearance, and she smiles at you, Uncle Joe, and thanks you.
Mhm.
And she takes you all upstairs. Oh, go ahead.
In that process, or while we're here,
Mhm.
I'd like to use my move, Oops,
Okay.
which lets me stumble across something important or anything that might be important or useful, although not necessarily related to my immediate problems or our immediate problem, but at least something along those lines.
I love it. So I'll combine Umbra's hold on this question and your oops move. As Maria takes you upstairs, she shows you their bedroom, And she points out that in the closet, she found one of her wife's shoes, but not the other one. And it's very unlike her. You hear Maria say, she's a fashion designer. She kept very careful stock of all of her outfits. These were pieces, things she felt were very precious to her. And if she went somewhere, she wouldn't just leave one behind, and especially in such a haphazard way. And she didn't even keep this pair of shoes here. Anyway, she usually wore them. So she had to have been wearing them standing here, but she's not here. And I feel like when I stand here, I feel like there's something beyond this closet. I know that sounds so strange to say, but I feel like there's something else here that wasn't here before. I know I sound crazy. And she looks around. You see in the room that there's a lot of dressmaker dummies here, and they're all just kind of like staring at you guys motionlessly without faces, dress forms with like loose pieces hanging on them. You also see strewn about the room a bunch of needles from sewing, kind of on the countertops and all around on the benches. You see a pair of scissors kind of very close to your head, Uncle Joe, as you turn around and you kind of like move the point away from your face. That's what you get from you asked, where did it go?
Yep.
Umbra, with that information, you push the clothes aside and see the back of the closet. And with your arcane sense, you see what appears to be like a zipper in the air, like just like a point of adhesion of kind of two invisible panes pushed together and like glowing in an arcane way, very like thin and silvery. It almost looks like a spider's web kind of dangling down. But as you poke at it or manipulate it, your hand passes through it, but you can tell that there was something that closed here. That's where it went. And for your oops move, Uncle Joe, as you move the scissors around, you see her kind of like get a little defensive about you touching the scissors. And she's like, oh, be careful with those. Those are enchanted.
Oh.
Enchanted.
I'm sorry, what?
I suppose I can tell you, you've believed me so far. My wife knew how to use magic, and some of her items were magical.
I mean, they were quite pretty. I mean, I'm a fan. I definitely am a fan for sure. I mean, some of the stitch work that she was able to pull off, absolutely magical.
She's very talented, but yes, her talent comes from making the tools that help her be so talented. And I'm
so magic scissors.
Magic scissors and a magic measuring tape, and most of her tools are enchanted.
Aha. Well, I'm out of my elements. And he turns back.
Four has been sort of like patiently, letting everybody do their thing, what everybody's good at. But they've brought up the teacup as well. And they kind of like go over to Mrs. Harper, to Maria, and they go, Maria, would you kindly finish this cup of tea? It would be a shame for Uncle Joe's tea to go to waste. It's really, really good, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any intention with this?
It's just meant to like help her relax, calm down. And
I have a plan, but it has nothing to do with I just want her to finish the cup of tea and then I have an idea.
Yeah, so she trusts you, so she would do so. And you didn't reject the fact that she revealed that her wife has magical enchanted items that she's made. And so she finishes the tea and does indeed feel better at having done this normal gesture in a time of crisis.
So I'm going to take the teacup from her. Thank you so much. I'm going to look at Umbra and I say, did you see anything?
Zipper.
I'm going to go over to the closet. I'm going to set the teacup down. And I'm going to look at the dregs at the bottom. And I'm going to use my Cast the Bones ability, which is once per mystery, you may perform some kind of divination, tarot, casting runes, something like that, to glean information about the future. When you seek guidance by divination, roll plus sharp, and etc. Awesome. So I'm going to kind of set the teacup down. I'm going to look up at Maria and say, I understand. We're going to try to do something about this. And sort of like read the tea leaves
Awesome.
And that is plus 7 plus 1 is 8.
You
is
also have
sharp.
one from a donation too.
Ooh.
So, but that gives me, but I have to get, is it 8 through 8 and up is, or no,
10 up.
10 and up, 10 plus. So I can't get there. I got a 7 on the die, so plus 1 for sharp is 8. So I can hold 1. And
Yep.
I can investigate I can use a question from the investigate a mystery move, or
you get some bonus questions.
yeah, there's some interesting questions. I guess who has touched this place before me?
Okay. And this place, you mean this room or anything in particular in the room?
Specifically the spot that Umbra kind of was looking at. I can't see the zipper or anything, but just like this sort of like opened area in the closet where the clothes have been parted,
Mhm.
this place.
Awesome. So from the tea leaves, you see shapes begin to form as the clumps of leaves that Uncle Joe had so kind of nicely prepared for her in a gesture of goodwill begin to twitch like organs that have been removed from the body. They pulse, they reform. To all of you, you're just seeing 4 stare into a teacup, but to 4 kind of tying into these larger magical presence, ley lines that like run through the world around you, 4 that you're able to tap into, they're able to see shapes form. And the shapes begin to tell a story. And as you kind of, your eyes begin to have that dark look, and everyone sees this as 4's eyes. Actually, you describe what your eyes look like as you use your magic.
So first, like the whites go black, and then the iris goes black, and then they sort of like sink in almost. They look like sort of like they turn into these like dark pits that kind of go into infinity in blackness.
And as you see this happen to 4, Uncle Joe, is this the first time you've seen this happen?
I would assume so. Unless
I think maybe there was like an incident we never talked about.
Yeah, I
and,
think like one of
you
her
thought it was
camping
a
trips.
dream.
Maybe that was the moment you stopped hanging out because maybe like at the time we didn't know what was going on. I freaked out, you freaked out, and
we just never talked about it again.
Yeah.
You know how like Asian families do.
Yeah.
We just don't talk about it.
Yeah. Bury it deep within.
Well, the repressed moment has come back in this real life moment as you see 4 take on this magical arcane ability. 4 walking forward with a teacup in hand, you reach out to touch where the arcane zipper that Umbra pointed out is. And what has touched this before? You have a flash from the messaging in the cup. You see the tape measure, enchanted now that you know, of Sarah, Ms. Harper, hanging in midair. And using all of your ability in the arcane, you begin to see a wibbly, wispy tentacle curled around it, holding it. And it begins to take shape. So the tape measure is moving on its own, and then you see it moving with this shape that is manipulating it. It's like a fish on a line almost. And you see that the tentacle belongs to a larger, wispier, bigger being behind it. And you see that being with another tentacle open the rift. And you hear in this vision screams and screams and screams as you see the shape moving through the rift, pushing through. And you see a human leg kicking from the other side of this large beast. And your vision returns. That is the last thing that touched this area.
Maria, is the tape measure still here?
No, I haven't found it.
I look over at Umbra and say something reached through.
Makes sense.
And
You
it
know
has
how
to
to
do with
get through?
it has to do with the tape measure. Maybe if we hey, Uncle Joe, could you grab those scissors? Carefully.
The magic's
Yeah,
Yeah.
the magic
Meat.
ones,
You want meat?
Yeah,
Okay.
the magic scissors. Yep.
not the regular
Oh.
ones.
Okay. All right. You can see him like trying his best right now to act normal with what he just saw and witnessed.
Yeah.
And he like gingerly grabs the scissors. Oh, do I check this out? Are we burning it? Is that what this is? Are we?
Don't burn my wife's scissors.
Oh no! I mean, okay.
Scissors aren't burning. Scissors aren't burning.
Just hand them over to me. That's fine. Thank you.
Go.
It's okay. And I think I look at Umra, I'm like, maybe we can cut the seam open.
Okay. I will say, what are the odds that the second we do that, it's gonna pop off?
100%. The odds are
Do we
100%.
let's text the other two, tell them get
Yeah.
over here.
Yes.
I can buy time probably just to, if we want to get this going quickly.
Yeah, and I think I'll look at Maria and be like, this is gonna sound wild. Do you have someone you can stay with while we have a plan, and we're gonna try to get your wife back, but it might get a little messy.
Sure. I would say my neighbor, but their son has gone missing. He was playing
Oh.
in the kitchen cabinets and he wasn't seen again. And I don't know who to stay with. Maybe I'll go out of town. My family's in another city. I can do that.
That might be for the best. And just we'll lock the door behind us when it's done. So take your keys and we'll, when it's time, actually, here, let's exchange contact info and we'll let you know when the job's done.
So as Four becomes an official client, or Maria becomes an official client of Four and the Necronomicon Club, Gordy and Delilah, you get a text with the briefing of this information, and a plan has been sprung. As the Necronomicon Club reassembles at Maria's house, you see her like leaving with all her bags packed, and she turns around and takes one last look at her house and puts her hand on her heart. And you feel the creature that's merged with you, Umbra, kind of stir and give like a spiritual licking of the lips as she turns and goes back to her car and heads out of town as the Necronomicon Club stands in front of her home, weapons hidden but available, leads found. We're going to take a little break as the next phase of our adventure will begin after our bio break. Welcome back, everyone. We are live with Monster of the Week, rolling for reproductive rights. Don't forget to donate in the chat. You can help our players and help a great cause. We last left off with the scene before we went to commercial break of all of our Necronomicon Club members standing in front of the home of Maria, well-armed, well-equipped with dealing with the supernatural, and newly hired for the job. Necronomicon Club members, as you walk into Maria's home and stand in front of the now identified kind of arcane rift that has been sealed and recently touched by a horrific and kind of unknowable creature, what do you do as your group stands reunited and has shared the information of one another's escapades? What's your plan and what do your characters do next?
Gordy would like to do two things if possible. One, use my Haven option of lower library to try to glean more information about this creature and what it actually might be.
So your lore library says when you hit the books, take a +1 forward to investigate the mystery. So for the first part of this scene, you're all assembled and then Gordy's like, gotta go. And you see Gordy run back down the stairs out to the van. And in the back of the van, Gordy, can you describe how you retrofitted the van with the library?
It's a trunk. It's like a trunk that's just, it's just a bunch of boxes back there. So there's a trunk that has the things you need or whatever. So I'm just shifting through books, printouts, things that we collected over the course of our adventure ever since that fateful night. and
Wonderful.
stuff I've had before because I was into the occult.
So as you're sitting in this library of the van, hold your roll for one moment. We'll do like a staggered time pacing here. So as you're researching, you'll presumably come back and do your investigative mystery roll. But while you're doing that, what is the rest of the team doing while Gordy's studying up?
I would imagine after seeing the magical nature of everything going on, I think the first thing that Uncle Jim does is go back and grab the axe that's in the back of his Prius. It's like one of those emergency style axes. And kind of just hold it and goes, and as he walks up, I don't know if anybody questions him about it. But he just looks at everybody as if though they might have, and he goes, I don't know if this is helpful, but
Delilah's swinging a baseball bat and she just nods approvingly at Uncle Joe. How do you like the party so far?
I mean, it's far from camping in the woods, but you swing with what you got.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Joe, that's a cool axe. I can actually beef it up a little bit if you want.
Oh, beef it up. Well, I mean, sure. He kind of hands it to you.
I'll grab it, and I would like to enchant the axe for Uncle Bob.
Yes. Go ahead and roll use magic as you hold onto the weapon and focus. What is your intention with the magic?
I think so. Like I saw like a shadowy type of creature behind the rift, or was it just like tendril?
You saw a tendril, and once you guys compare stories, it's very similar to the one that was in the photo, the Snopes photo. So it seems like that's a common element. Not so much shadowy as it is like there's like a little bit of translucence, like wherever the edges of it, if it were a physical thing, would be, like the points of like intersection between, like, if it's my hand, like the contours, that's what I'm looking for. Wherever the contours are, you see like glowing light, and it's like kind of shimmery and translucent, but it like creates a sense of a figure. So very like bright.
Gotcha.
But you couldn't see through it. Like you saw the legs kicking on the other side, but it wasn't like completely translucent because you couldn't see through to the whole person there.
Cool. What I'd like to do with the axe is sort of loosen the contours on the axe so that it can pass through like the other dimensions and stuff, and at least like meet this creature where it's at, so it can actually hit it. So like almost like blurring almost like blurring the axe. So it's like between dimensions. I'm gonna try.
Awesome.
Put one of those sensor things over it.
You can't see it.
Awesome. Roll use magic.
Could I add a retroactive scene while I do the Lord? So we get the text, we stop staring at Finley, we leave, and I said, all right, so this is what they said it is. We need more information. I get in the back of the van, and reluctantly, I hand Delilah the keys.
I get to drive. Okay, all right, okay. I promise I will be so careful. All right. You can. I promise.
Keep those damn demons away from Persephone, all right?
I have, yes, yep. That was a one-time thing. I hope.
I rolled a 7 on my use magic, so it works in perfectly. Choose your effect in a glitch, and the keeper gets to decide what the glitch is.
Yep.
But yeah, so my choice is enchanted weapon. It gets +1 harm and plus magic.
Okay. So Uncle Joe, please mark that whenever you hit something, you get a +1 harm on it.
Woo!
And can it cast magic?
No, it just gains the magic tag.
Okay, excellent. So
I don't know how I can mark this, but I'll keep it in mind.
Yes, that's totally fair. What's the glitch? The effect is weakened. The effect is short of duration. You take one harm and ignore armor magic. Draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect.
I think the funnest one is a problematic side effect, because then it's situational and we'll see what happens.
Yep. So you feel like you did a really good job on crafting this magical axe, and you hand it back to your uncle. And for all intents and purposes, you think that this is foolproof.
I think it hums lightly around the edges where it's sort of like dipping into the other dimensions and stuff. It's almost like if you like unfocus your eyes, it kind of like there's multiple images refracted.
For all intents and purposes, for someone who has no contact with any of this, he's taking it quite well. He's just looking at the...
Very well.
To that point, Uncle Joe, can you give me an act under pressure roll to see if you can keep your composure with all of these escalating weird things happening?
Sure. Where's the app?
You'll roll with your cool stat.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll 2d6 and add your cool stat.
Okay, let me go back to my dice roller. Come on, give me something good. Oh, that's a total of 11.
Wow.
Yoo-hoo!
Uncle Joe is cool as ice. You do what you set out to do, and as your
I'm just happy to hang out with more.
as your relative is handing you this like newly magically enchanted weapon, and their eyes had previously gone into sunken holes of infinity blackness, you're just like, yep.
Yeah. We're gonna just have a conversation about all of this later, but for now,
we'll talk about it later.
Taking it all in stride.
Well, we were supposed to go. Maybe I was hoping for fishing, but I
the axe
we're
will be
gonna
good for
fish.
camping. You can, I don't know, maybe it'll be good for camping. I don't know.
This is so cool. I didn't know you could do things like this. I mean, it's been a while since we had the last talk, but I'd love to learn more. This is wild.
Yeah, it's sort of just where I'm at these days. So it's
okay.
Are you sure you're okay? Are you like?
I mean, it's just new. I'm just taking it in. You know, just
okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you're not like having this seems like it could be a breakdown, but you're fine.
I'm just happy to be with you, man. It's been a while. We haven't had a chance to hang out. If this is how you want to hang out, this is what you do for fun. Hope this is fun for you. But if it's fun, as long as it's fun, yeah, let's do it. Let's just tell me where to swing. I'll swing.
It'll be very clear where to swing.
As you say that, Umbra, the shadowy beast that's fused with you, seems disappointed at Uncle Joe's calm demeanor, and you feel it growl almost and like shift like a cat that's restless.
I had a plan, which is I was going to explain more to Uncle Joe, and I like reassure for that, like, no, he's doing fine. But I'm gonna explain.
Do you sound genuinely disappointed?
I don't mean to, but I absolutely do. So I'm gonna explain a couple of things to you. One, I'm going to look like a monster really soon. Don't worry about that. When I say monster and I shift one of my arms and it's like pitch black with like long claws, and I like shift it back, that is what I mean. So imagine that entire body. I will also have a sword. This can get lethal. So, stick and move. Don't stand in one place too long. I think I just like, I've called myself the combat officer now. This is the thing I handle. So, if you start bleeding, do you know how to handle like, lacerations?
Is he talking to me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is she talking to me? My apologies.
Yeah. She's talking to you directly, looking in your eyes.
I mean, I've done first aid. I mean, you kind of have to know it if you're going to be in the woods by yourself.
Perfect.
I can do CPR. I mean,
okay. That's all good. Now, if you see like, a pillar of light or some magic, I'll tell you, anything that looks shiny that you don't recognize, don't touch it. That's the great first rules.
Got it.
Also, if I start looking like I lose a little bit of control, just walk away. It's gonna help you. It hasn't happened just walk away.
There's like a counter in the van where there hasn't been a workplace accident from Umbra and then there's so many scratches out on the side of the van, and I think the counter's like 4 days maybe.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll kind of like just like nod along with Umbra and be like, yeah, just get behind me. I'll try to take care of it. We have an understanding.
At
With
this point,
yes, go ahead.
At this point, can the van come screeching to a halt just in front of the house, just like
Yeah,
Yeah.
give me an act under pressure roll.
Yeah.
As you're really amped up, your driver's instincts are kicking in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see where that
You
van ends up.
immediately regret it.
I regretted it when I thought about it.
Yeah, you should regret it because I rolled a 6.
Mark experience. And describe to me how the van rolls up onto the driveway of Maria's house.
Yeah, so I'm imagining like as soon as I get in the driver's seat, I'm just like just instinct just takes over, and I turn it on, shift it into gear, and we are just off, and I am speeding the entire way there, and you guys can hear like from down the street, like before you even see the van, you can hear just like screeching and horns honking, and then you kind of all three of you, I imagine just all three of you just go like this at the same time, and then around the corner comes the van, and it looks like it's about to lift off onto 2 wheels on one side, but it doesn't, and just like yeah, exactly, making all those noises, and then just does a full like donut turn and backs into the driveway, and just you just see Delilah just hanging out the window, one arm, one hand on the wheel, just like, yeah.
Gordy, your hair is all blown back. You've got like as you were like trying to read while driving, like your face is like with like all like the shocks and like the wind and the velocity of this car. Like you're in a high-speed vehicle with like all the windows rolled down. Your papers are flying everywhere in the back.
Back door flies open. Gordy steps out. Step out. My hoodie is just like off one shoulder. I'm wrapped in scrolls. Just papers everywhere.
So
This
that
is why we don't let her drive.
She can do so much. You never let her do any of this stuff. Woo!
that's how the rest of your team arrives. Gordy, please make an investigate the mystery roll as you arrive with all of the knowledge of your studies, even though it was a little difficult there at the end with the driving.
Ooh. So that would be at 11.
So you
All right.
concentrate better when I drive fast.
You have a hold 2. So now that you have full kind of, before you were being nice, like there was Maria there, she was grieving, like you guys had to be a little gentle about what you were investigating. You have full access to this house now. So you can investigate in any way you choose. Hold 2 from that list. What would you like to know?
I need to know what sort of creature it is and what can hurt it.
And how are you doing this? And you can certainly take suggestions from your team, because like everyone can be pouring through the house doing different things at this point. So you have kind of any way you seek to investigate, I can give you an answer based on what you're doing.
I'd probably show Gordy the scissors, because it seems like they're an important part of this. So maybe something to do with the scissors. Be like, hey, this you might know something about this.
Okay, all right, the scissors. What I was I take the scissors, going from the picture Finley showed Delilah and I look at it, the information from Umbra with the zipper and the scissors and the vision that 4 saw. I want to see if I could find anything in all of the tomes and scrolls that I have. Any creature that fits the description.
Awesome. So as you're looking at all of this and you're kind of like in a Shakespearean pose, instead of holding the skull, you're holding these enchanted scissors. And on the other hand, you're flipping through a old a tome that you found on a previous mission. You do find, so you're wondering what sort of creature is it?
Yeah. What sort of creature is it?
So with all of this knowledge, you do find a page, and you kind of, your thumb stops right there on the page and freezes it from flipping forward as you see something that 4 would identify as well. And from what you saw in the photo and what Delilah saw, it looks almost exactly like it, except the thing you saw was just a piece of it. It was actually the forehead protrusion of it. It's on a page titled The Angler. And it has a large, from the illustration, from like a 14th century monk, like it's kind of not the best, but it does have a large kind of protrusion, what you thought was a tentacle is actually kind of an antenna maybe coming out of the front of it. And on the end is just like a squiggly line. And the notes from the monk has an arrow pointing to it and says, magical item, pointing to the squiggles on the end of it. The rest of it is large, bulbous, kind of like oblong, potato-shaped. And at the bottom, a bunch of tentacles. And all of these things are drawn in a dotted line, indicating that it is not entirely visible. That is what the creature is, according to your research and your clues.
All right. Well, seems like we're going fishing. And what can hurt it? What can hurt it?
On the same page, written by the same monk from centuries ago, you read his testimonial, and he says, this creature is dangerous. Avoid at all costs. Keep magic items well locked up, or it will pursue them. It can be hurt by removing the apparatus that fishes for the items.
All right. All right. Okay. And then the second thing I wanted to do along with the low library is, so we need magic items, right?
To lure it out, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like to use my other haven option, the armory.
Mm-hmm.
Have a stockpile of mystical and rare monster killing weapons and items. You know, if I need a special weapon, roll plus weird. I'd like to try to grab some stuff.
Nice.
So we could pile it up to lure it out.
Awesome. So, Gordy, as you share this information, and everyone is kind of processing this, you go back out to the van, to your armory. You do notice that someone has slashed the tires on your van since you've been upstairs. Give me an act under pressure roll.
Oh no. It wasn't me.
All right. Act under pressure. That is an 8. Lucky.
An 8. So you are able to keep your cool, but you swear you will never give Delilah the keys again. This has something to do with her driving the van. This has never happened before when you drove the van. So you are back to the emotional place of being possessive of the keys as a result. However, as you get closer to the van, you do see scratched right above one of the tires, the name Dash was here. And like a little mean face, like with little fangs. It's weird. But anyway, you go into the armory. You go into the armory and you're able to stock up. So go ahead and make your roll.
Plus weird. 5.
Oh man, a 5 is a fail. You got the wrong thing. So what were you looking for? Specifically a magic item?
Yes, things that have magic. Well, more things that have magic. So specifically, I was gonna get like one of the magic harpoons since we're gonna go fishing, like a magical harpoon.
Mm-hmm.
But well, I left that somewhere.
Yeah, you can't find it. And you do see that scratched on the inside of your van, Dash was here too. And there's a bunch of empty containers where you thought you stored these specific special items that you'd need for this.
I know who Dash is, right?
You would. You'd actually be the only other person other than Delilah who knows who Dash is. Delilah, do you want to share what Gordy would know as well?
Yeah. So Dash, unfortunately, is the ringleader of the underground racing league that I used to drive with, and I lost him a lot of money and kind of just disappeared after that happened. So I pissed him off. I pissed off a well-connected criminal. And they'll do whatever they can to destroy me. So
Unfortunately for Dash, Dash didn't fuck with Delilah. He fucked with Gordy and Persephone. So I walk back into the house with
Yep.
no magic harpoon, just the magical items that we have. And I just walk, I walk up, I look at Delilah. We're killing Dash after this.
Great, sure.
and
Yep.
I pull out that same dagger. I grab the scissors, the dagger that I have with the obsidian blade, and that from the incident that was corrupted during the incident. And I said, I guess we just have these.
Not just that. We also, and I reach into one of my pockets and I pull out my it looks like an ordinary car key, but it's got it's similar like glow around it, and it's like, I got this too. May or may not have belonged to Dash at some point, but yeah, it's pretty useful.
As the party begins to assemble a pile of magical items as bait, does anyone else have an offering for the pile before you make your roll to lure?
It's gonna sound horrifying.
I toss in a lure.
Just a regular lure?
Yep. I don't know if that'll help, but since they want to lure it out, here's a lure.
This is gonna sound horrifying, but would a little bit of like monstrous blood like read as magical enough?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. Okay. So I have my sword with me, and I just simply like shift my hand and just right across the palm, just like add a few drops.
Hell yeah.
Uncle Joe, make me a act under pressure roll.
Oh, fun. So this is plus cool, right?
Plus cool.
Okay, let's see. That's a 6.
That's even better. That just makes the fear more. That just works. That's in my favor.
Yep. Go ahead and mark experience. Umbra, you feel sated and ready for this battle as Uncle Joe's fear and uncomfortable reaction to you slicing your hand with the sword feeds the interior monstrous beast. But the blood dribbles down onto the pile, christening all of these magical items. And with each drop of blood, there's like a little flare up, like a little sparkler that shoots off. As outside, the sun begins to set and sinks below the horizon, and the house is bathed in darkness. And the only light is glowing from the pile of magical items that you have put on the floor as an offering. You stand in silence, the members of the Necronomicon, as from the closet, you hear a tear, like fabric rendering, and then ripping bigger and bigger, as though all of the clothes in the closet are being torn, but they stand safely on their hangers. It's the air itself that's being ripped open. And from the darkness, you see a shimmer. It's faint. I'd like you all to make a custom roll called Blink and You'll Miss It.
Ooh.
A roll plus sharp.
Okay.
Ooh. 11.
Nice.
That is a 5.
Go ahead and mark experience. Where are you on your experience track?
2 experiences.
All right.
11 as well.
Nice.
I got a 9, but I'm going to use my +1 from chat.
Woo!
Get me to 10.
Awesome. Gordy?
Yeah, Gordy got a 12.
Oh,
Nice.
Hell yeah, Gordy.
this tracks.
This
This
tracks.
tracks so
Yeah, he's
well.
the smart one.
Everyone but Uncle Joe from the closet sees a large tentacle. It's shimmering into existence as you focus in on it, because now you know what you're looking for. And you see it like almost like an elephant trunk, but reaching back from a bestial shape that's lumpy, like full of different kinds of tumors and growths that are just like pulsing like lungs moving in and out off of this creature. And from the very tip of it, it has a hook, like a small claw at the very end of the tendril. And it's reaching hungrily towards the pile. And as it gets close to the pile, you see your magical items begin to also go invisible as you see the claw touching them and beginning to hook them. And all of you who are looking at them, as you see them go invisible, you start to feel a little woozy. I'd like everyone to make a break the thrall roll with your cool. stat.
Oh,
Roll better, baby.
six.
Uncle
Please
Joe,
give
you
me
don't
some-
see this, by the way.
Oh,
You
so
just
I don't.
see-
But do I still roll then?
No.
or-
Oh,
Okay.
well, yes. Are you looking at the items?
I'm assuming that I'm looking in the direction. I'm like looking around. Do I hear the noise? You said there was a tearing.
Yeah, you know
noise,
what?
right?
I don't think you would make. I think this is for those that are honing in on this. So
Okay.
you don't have to make this roll, but everyone else break the thrall. Uncle
Isn't
Joe,
this
you just
cool?
see everyone kind of like go a little glassy.
Okay. I just kind of look at them, guys. What's going on?
What's everyone's cool roll?
I got an
Six.
11 again.
All right.
I got a 6, but I do have force of will to apply my will to dispelling a magical effect.
Oh.
Mhm.
Maybe, the failure is a failure, but maybe I'll try to do that as the next thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would allow it to override the failure.
Okay.
Because this is purely a magical thing.
Cool. So I'm going to roll plus weird instead of, so my roll goes from a 6 to an 8.
Nice.
All right. So Umbra got an 11. 4 got an 8.
Gordy got a 7. I mean, 8.
Okay.
I got an 8 as well. I'm sorry. I cannot
Okay.
count 7. I mean, 8.
Somewhere in there.
I
It's
got an
okay.
8. I got an 8.
It's 7 to 9. We'll count it. Delilah.
6.
Okay. Mark experience.
Yep. I'm up to
and
2 as well.
so what happens is, as this creature hooks into the items, you see it begin to drag them across the floor. And for you, Uncle Joe, the items disappear. You don't see them. For everyone else, you see them being dragged across the floor, and they're like appearing in one place and then appearing in another, and it's moving them towards this rift. Delilah, you are entranced by this, and you need to follow it to see where it's going. And you're walking forward towards the rift.
Changed my mind. I want my key back.
For everyone else, you are able to shake off the effects. However, For and Gordy take 1 harm as you feel kind of your brain buzzing like a brain freeze as you're able to like shake free from it.
Mm.
my
Uncle Joe,
God.
you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
It's dark.
I'm just like,
It's a dark room
guys,
and
the
it's getting
things are
weird.
moving. They're disappearing. Guys,
Uncle Joe, it's popping off. Get ready.
I'm all, what? Oh, okay. Oh, just tell me where to swing. Remember,
You all see
just-
Delilah walking forward towards the rift. What do you guys do?
I run forward toward the thing because I want my knife back, and I slap Joe on the back. I say, "Shake a leg, Joe."
Okay. All right. And then if that's the case, as soon as I hear that, I am going to use my "Don't worry, I'll check it out" move, which is whenever you go off by yourself to check out somewhere or something scary, mark experience.
All right.
Amazing.
So where are you walking?
I'm assuming straight, like he smacked me in the back, and I'm assuming like everybody seems like going in there in one direction. So he kind of just like basically Leroy Jenkins it. Just runs forward in front of everybody else into, I guess there's a rift.
You don't see it, so you're running into a coat closet, but
Yeah.
it seems pretty scary.
I mean, to him, that doesn't feel that scary. So he's just now like, he's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna run into this closet now.
So go ahead and mark experience.
Uh-huh.
As you all see Joe running headlong into danger,
Uncle Joe, what are you doing?
following Delilah. So For and Umbra and Gordy, how are you going to react as you see the two of them? I would say you both feel, and now that you're so close to it, Joe, you kind of feel the static of this other world, this rift that's
tingly.
opening. And because of its bulk, this creature has had to move back, and it's basically like reeling in the fishing line. So it has hefted back a space to allow space for you two to move forward through the rift. Delilah, you would see this, but you wouldn't be able to react as you're in the thrall. As you get closer to the rift, on the inside of it, you see human bodies strewn about a floor that's kind of covered in mist. There's like mist floating everywhere. It's like a very ethereal space. You see bodies that are splayed open, rib cages cracked, legs broken. They are in various states of gore and dismemberment, and it appears as though something has fed on them. Strewn all around the floor of this chamber are glowing magical items.
Good.
Do I see the bodies and stuff as I go through?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're close
that-
enough.
So, as soon as he sees that, like up till then, he's like confident running forward, and as soon as he sees it, it's like a big like stop and immediately turn around like nope, 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 nope. And then kind of just waits for the rest of the party. He's just like going, what the hell's happening here?
Joe, you're so close because you've used your move to run into danger alone that I'd like you to roll read a bad situation as and I'll actually have Delilah roll this too, even if you can't act on it in the thrall.
Okay.
Both of you roll plus sharp because you're kind of peering into the void right now.
Oh, I don't have sharp, but
6 again.
okay. Ooh, even without it.
Mark experience.
That is 11.
I'm up to
Nice.
3 now.
All right.
Same.
So with your 11, Joe, you're able to hold 3. So on that basic move sheet, there are questions and you can ask 3 of them.
Basic move sheet questions. ¿Dónde estás? Oh, the other sheet that you.
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
up,
the
hold up,
basic
hold up.
one.
I need to find it.
I can read them out loud too. It's what's the best way in?
Okay,
What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victims?
Got it. So and you said 2 questions?
3.
3 questions. Okay, cool. Well, first and foremost, what's my best way out?
As you look into this void full of human bodies that have been dismembered and magical glowing items, you realize that the only way out is the way in. There's no other way out in
Okay.
this chamber.
Damn it. That was a waste of a question.
Good to know though.
True. I think with that, the next one, because I haven't seen what's the cause of all of this. So I would say, what's the biggest threat?
The biggest threat right now is being so close to being so close to this opening. You're not under the thrall, but the proximity is putting you in close proximity to something dangerous. You can tell from the blood splatters dried on the ground.
And then I guess the final question then is, what's the best way to protect the victims?
The best way to protect the victims is to listen to your resident nerd and try to chop off the antenna, because if this thing is stopped, it's not going to do this to you or to anyone else ever again.
Okay. But can I see these antennas?
No.
Okay. But how would you say then would I know about this knowledge? How would this knowledge come about chopping off those antennas if you can't see them?
I think we had
So-
that information
The
from
nerd-
before,
The
right?
nerd
Oh,
said it.
Nerd
Oh,
drawing.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I'll also give you, because you did score so high on your read a bad situation, you know that if you were to go into this space with this creature, it would become visible to you.
Okay.
You
So
are just unaffected by its thrall.
got it. So then I
Yeah.
see it now then, right? Because I've entered the space.
Do you
so
want to
I-
go in?
Am I not already in? I
You're
thought
right
I
on the
saw-
threshold. You guys are like being pulled right on the edge, because I'm going to
'cause
give your
then-
team a chance to react.
Gotcha. Because I thought that's what I did with the don't worry, I'll check it out.
Oh, you went right into the portal?
That's what I thought I did.
Oh, I thought you went into. Oh, dang! I thought you were in the closet. No, okay.
Okay, so the
you-
closet itself is also. Oh, okay. I missed in my brain. I was thinking I had gone through, and that's when I saw the victims
okay.
and stuff.
No, I was thinking you're like peering through. So if you would like, I will have you go right on in there if you want.
Do it.
Oh man,
Do it.
Do it.
Do
Alright.
it.
Yeah,
Do the
Do
yeah,
it, Uncle
move.
Joe.
yeah. That's what he does. He's just like, I think it's more of just the momentum of it.
Yep.
It's just like he's like, oh, what's going on? And shoo, in through it.
We need
Through the portal.
donations. Give Uncle Joe a +1.
Help me,
Donate.
por favor.
Yep.
Uncle Joe don't deserve Uncle,
Uncle Joe
Joe.
with the upside down. Yes.
Don't let me be that the glasses girl in the very first.
Barb.
Barb,
don't
yeah.
barb
Barb.
Uncle Joe, please.
No.
Or
Um,
you see your uncle disappear inside this portal.
Shit.
Delilah, your
Yep.
toes are
I
being
literally
dragged
Leroy
along the ground.
Jenkins this, didn't I?
Right to the edge. You're right there being lured in.
Mm.
And it looks like we did just get an anonymous donation with a +1. We're going to throw it to Uncle Joe. So you got that in your bucket.
Hell yeah.
So Uncle Joe, as you move through this portal and you're in its space, the ethereal mists that swirl around this creature give it shape. And so you're kind of seeing the absence of it, but you're able to see it quite clearly, or as clear as you can see an ethereal, invisible quasi creature. But you can see exactly where its limbs are. And again, it is like this mass, this pulsing, tumor filled, just blob that has kind of slithering motions as it's being propelled forward on a bunch of tentacles that keep its weight up. It's massive, kind of, it's like a large, like bulbous boulder. But now that you're in the space, the lure that it has Delilah by, it's pulling her forward. Delilah, give me an act under pressure. And as you try to resist bodily, Uncle Joe, you are like up close and personal with this thing, and the boulder element of it cracks open with a splitting noise, and you see rows and rows of tiny pointy teeth, both up and down, and then a second row behind it for good measure. And it's about the width of a canoe, this smile of just like needle sharp teeth, about 2 feet from you.
I rolled an 11.
Delilah, you are able to stay out of the portal. 4, Umbra, 40, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm going into. I need to get my dagger back. So what I do is, and Uncle Joe already ran in. So what I do is I pull out a knife. It's a pristine, with a opal handle, and a pristine metal blade. That's my blessed knife. So I jump in there, and I say, well, Umbra, do I see the big thing? Do I see it? All right, Umbra, you take care of those tentacles. Ford, magic it, I guess.
I got plans.
We need to get Uncle Joe, and I run by Delilah and shake her. So snap out of it. We got work to do.
All right.
Delilah, you have your faculties about you. You're close enough to the portal that you're at the point where everyone else begins screaming. But you, as a monster hunter, are ready for action.
Yeah. Can I pull out? I have a big knife as well. So I'm going to stow the baseball bat, pull out the big knife, and just be like, let's fucking go.
That's
Knife.
Yeah.
Listen, knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the knife.
I hop in the portal, just getting ready to go and stab this thing because I need my other dagger back because it has sentimental value.
I want my key.
Awesome. Both of you are in the portal then?
Yep.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Your
I'm in there.
boots hit ground that is full of mist. It's like standing on a cloud, but when you look down, it's also stained with the dried blood of hundreds of victims.
Gross.
The floor is like a rust red color underneath all of the mist. Umbra, 4, what are you doing?
So I'd like to use magic to trap a specific person, minion, or monster. I want to take there's the rift, right? And I kind of want to trap the bait in place so that the monster can't retreat. So like my trap is like sort of threads from this seam that's ripped, I want to just like stab into the antenna to hold it in place. So I just want to use the trap a specific monster type of effect of use magic.
Awesome. So you want to keep it exactly where it is in this position.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then it'll be easier for everybody to like, hack away at it or whatever.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll use magic.
That's an 8.
Right.
It works in perfectly.
What's your glitch?
I think the magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, of course.
Of course. So as for summons, this kind of spell to keep everything frozen in place, and there's this tug of the antenna on the items, and you hear this guttural kind of animalistic noise come from deep within the throat of the creature. Uncle Joe, the stink of its breath of hundreds of devoured humans hits you full on as it expels from the open mouth, as eyes begin to open up all over the front of it, tiny slits of eyes. There's at least, I'd say like 4 rows of 8 eyes that all begin to like spark open with tiny little pupils shifting back and forward. And they focus on you 4, and the teeth begin to gnash as it struggles. I would like you to give me an act under pressure roll to see if you can avoid its attack.
Okay.
Me or Joe?
Both of you, you're pretty close.
Okay.
Oh,
And
snap.
anyone else who considers themselves close is welcome
That's
to dodge
with the
this.
plus what again?
That's
cool.
plus cool.
Oh, that's an 11.
All right, Uncle Joe, you are able to duck under the thrashing teeth, and you feel like an action movie star.
Woohoo!
Hell yeah.
I got a 5.
Oh no.
Oh no.
With a 5, you take 3 harm as one of the teeth sinks into your shoulder for piercing you, and blood begins to drip fresh onto the ground.
I'm
Oh,
I'm at
gosh.
4 harm, by the way, which is I'm
Oh, no.
serious and unstable.
You're
Oh, no.
unstable. So if you're unable to be healed, so there are moves that heal people, but if you don't have any, basic first aid can do. A character can administer basic first aid, but you will still remain unstable.
Oh gosh. So if that happens, as soon as I see that,
Really quick though,
yes.
you can use a luck. You all have 2 luck.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I'm going to use luck on this for sure. 3 harm is so much.
Yeah.
But also, a side effect of the hex is whenever I use luck, for the rest, let me find this. It's a special thing. Like things get worse when I use luck.
Uh-huh.
I'll come back to it when I can find it.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Awesome. So as the pincer of the tooth pushes through your shoulder and the blood drips down, all of your arcane ability, those dark pits of your eyes summon, and you channel it, and the tooth pushes back out. It's almost like watching something played in reverse as it's expelled from your body, and the blood kind of dries and coagulates, and the wound heals as you take no harm.
When you
Nice.
spend luck until the end of the mystery, backlash on your spells will be extra nasty.
Oh
Excellent.
no.
Way.
If that's the case, so in that situation, can I just do you want me to can I try something, or can we wait until do we want to wait until everybody else has a turn?
Well, I mean, it's a free flow narrative, so
Oh, okay.
everyone is welcome to jump in. And I would love to hear from Umbra, because I feel
Mhm.
like Umbra needs to get in
Yeah,
the fray.
nah.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
she's been waiting like this. She I think normally lets everyone get a first hit in. And there's almost this like excitement of like a kid who finally gets to like break some toys. As sword strapped on her back, she just charges in, and I think almost in like a like as a camera cut, as she jumps through the portal, by the time she is on the other side of it, she is already fully transformed out
Yeah,
into
yeah,
full
yeah,
like
yeah.
shadow monster form.
Hell yeah.
Which is like, I think, sleek and slender with like blood red eyes, and you can see almost light shining off of those as like you see it is like Vanta black, so no light is like escaping the shadow form, with only a very sinister looking grin. And it's the moments like these when you're like, oh, I'm really glad they're on our side. As I'm just gonna start trying to rip and tear as many of the tentacles off as I can.
You're muted, Allison.
Sorry, I got too excited and forgot to unmute. I said awesome. So yes, please give me a kick some ass roll as Umbra jumps in and begins tearing this thing apart.
Perfect. So because of some of my monstrous moves, I roll plus weird instead of tough. So
Nice.
normally that would have been 9. With my weird, that's a 12.
Nice. So
And I
what
do-
level of
oh.
harm does your attack do?
So it is, I'm using my claws, and with my natural attack stuff, I ignore armor and I do +3 because I also have claws
Nice.
of the beast.
So what's
So-
your total harm?
3 ignoring armor.
Excellent. So Umbra, you feel like this thing has a thick hide. Like all of those tumors that are pulsing, they're not full of air or pus or anything like gross and squishy. They're like hard as rocks. And you would feel like for anyone else, it would kind of push back a physical attack slightly. Like there is a thin layer of armor on this thing. But with your claws and the dark power that is part of you, you just tear through it like it's tissue paper, and you move through, and it looks like it's hurt. It begins to ooze like a thick, oily substance, almost like you've struck oil, but it's coming from deep within this creature, and it lets out a moan and turns to you and thrashes around. It can't move because it's caught in place. But what it can do is it kind of splats downwards, and all of its tentacles like splay out, and then it begins to whip them around in this small area right by the entryway of the portal. Those who are closest, so Umbra, you would be hit by this. Who else is very close to it?
I have a question as well.
Yes.
Because it is kick some ass, I also get the extra effect of +10. Right?
And you're right. I just realized I have to harm you too for that. So thank
Oh
you
yeah.
for reminding
Oh, I'm
me.
ready for that part. That part's fine.
Yes. What's your special thing though?
I'm going.
Oh, your extra effect. Yes. Which one do you want to pick? Thank you. It was our first kick-ass roll.
Yeah. I think we want it in the same spot, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
we want to
allow
get rid
you-
of this lure, and then
I will allow you to, the tentacles have already started moving. So like if you want to react to that with your bonus, feel free.
Okay. Because the only thing I'm thinking of is force them where I want them. I think as they start to swing at everyone, thinking in terms of collateral damage, I will take the entire brunt of that and hold it in place so it doesn't lash out and hit anyone else.
Okay. How are you doing that physically with your claws?
Yes, I think it is absolutely a mix of like grabbing and pinning down as many with my claws as I can.
Nice. So, Umbra, I'm going to give you from this thematically, but this is actually the recompense for your kick some ass move, because with kick some ass, we exchange harm. So you can go ahead and mark, I believe it was biting. Yes. So go ahead and mark 3 harm. If you have any armor, go ahead and reduce from these teeth that were thrashing into you. And also from kind of the strain of trying to grab onto all of these, like they're just like tree trunks swinging at you, and you're just trying to like grab and hold and grab and hold, and it's straining all of the muscles in your body, and you have to really tap deeply into the shadow power. Unfortunately, no one's afraid right now, and so you're also getting a lot of pushback from this creature, as all of your friends are quite brave, and there's no fear in a very scary situation. The monster is held. You all then, because of this, do not have to suffer that harm from the tentacles that were just gonna smack you right up in your business. So Umbra, you can't do any movement stuff because you're kind of holding it down. Gordy, 4, Joe and Delilah, I feel like you're like right in front of it, right? And it's effectively pinned. What do you guys do?
I want to go for that lure.
Go for it. What do you do?
I want to maybe use still kind of harnessing the adrenaline from driving the car. I will, or driving the van. I will kind of like run up and maybe kick off one of those like pustule things and like try and get some height to just like slice it.
Nice. So as you kind of move through the air and you meet the height of it and you go and bring your weapon down, go ahead and roll kick some ass. Wait, actually don't, because it's pinned like in 2 ways. So it really can't do much for you because its teeth aren't able to reach you up there. Like how's it going to be like with like an underbite? Right. So no, you don't need to roll for that.
Okay.
So describe to me like your slow-mo move as you're like right above it.
So I run up and I kick off and I'm going, and it's slow-mo and like my legs are just going, and it's just like my mouth is wide open and I'm just like and just a big slice across the lure. And I don't know if my big knife is enough to chop it, but at least I'll try and.
Do you have any piercing ability or any armor piercing ability?
I don't think so.
That's okay. How much damage does your knife do?
It does 1.
Okay.
It says harm hand.
All right. So unfortunately, your knife is not powerful enough to slice through the rocky armor, although you do feel like targeting this area, there's a little bit more give. But unfortunately 1 is not enough.
I imagine that the knife gets stuck in it, and now Delilah's just dangling from it and be like, let's go.
As Delilah is dangling, 4 and Gordy, you're in close range with this creature. I would also like to point out though that all around you are like incredibly old, incredibly varied arcane magical items. Like they're just strewn at your feet, mixed in with the mangled corpses of dozens of humans. Some of them are immersed in piles of gore and dried blood, but they are glowing with a familiar spark of arcane energy.
So Joe's gonna he in his initial investigation of what's gonna be helpful, then none of that pinged to him. So he's gonna take his trusty axe that his family member enchanted and trusts more so than anything else. And in this process, I'm assuming I feel like I could use this. So I have another move called the Power of Heart. So when fighting a monster, if you help someone, don't roll plus cool, you automatically help as though you'd rolled a 10.
Okay.
It's amazing.
So so for flavor, you can absolutely hack at it with the axe. However, helping someone is a support move. So who are you helping? Or you see Uncle Joe who's like looking around frantically and he's like, who do I help?
Yeah.
So who's stepping up for an Uncle Joe assist?
Like, is there like I would probably look around and is there anybody that seems most in danger or like?
So
I'm dangling
Umbra,
from it.
That is dangling it.
Twyla's dangling. Umbra, can you go ahead and mark 1 harm from the strain of holding down multiple tentacles of a giant invisible monster?
That's putting me in unstable territory. Yeah. This would be
Umbra's
fun.
muscles are bulging and the shadow is flickering on and off, using all of her strength.
So in that process, then I think I'm just seeing the entire team. I think it's just in need of like something to ease up the stress on them. And I know that from my investigation that the tentacles or not. I remember being told that the tentacles are things that are what we need to attack, right? Specifically,
This one.
Yeah.
The
So
big
the
tentacle.
lure or whatever that one is. And so with it being tied down and occupied by Delilah, that's what he's going to go and attack because he thinks that's the most helpful thing.
Yeah, Uncle Joe, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
you can absolutely attack. Do you want to you want to save your heart move then for another help moment? Just because your heart is for helping, but attacking is different than helping.
okay.
So I can set you up for either one.
I think for this scenario, I think that I'll go with the helping action.
All right, Uncle Joe, he's like basically like got his hands laced. He's ready to boost somebody. Like he's ready to help. Who's doing something for Uncle Joe to help with?
Gordy was gonna make a move to go get one of those magical items just laying about. I need a like sword or something sharp to get rid of these tentacles.
Yeah.
So that was my aim, to find something so I could help Umbra.
Act under pressure. Roll plus cool. Let's see what kind of thing you find.
I get to roll plus sharp for my axe under pressure. Nerd power. That is a 7.
All right, with a 7, you do find a sword. However, you know instinctually, you can read the ancient runes on the hilt. I mean, this thing is gonna penetrate the armor. It's really good for chopping like magical creatures. You're really excited about it, nerd moment, but you realize it's cursed and that if you pick it up, you're never gonna be able to put it down.
That means you can't drive.
Wait,
I
you could use luck, right?
I can use luck. I have 2. How does luck work?
You just use it. You're a lucky monster.
It becomes
hunter.
a 12 instead of 7.
Yeah, let's make it a 12.
Do you use your luck?
Yeah,
All right.
So close.
So,
do you use one or use 2 of them to make it the 12?
just one.
Oh yeah, I'll just use the one then.
So as you use your luck, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. My life will be different, but it'll be okay. And then as you step forward, your foot hits another weapon that ding, like just raises up with the momentum of your foot, and it raises it like to the height where you could just grab it, like the sword from the stone, and you pull it up, and it's a non-cursed version of this.
Woo!
Nice.
All right, so sword in hand, are you making an attack on the creature with the help of Uncle Joe?
Yeah, I was going for the tentacles so we could free Umbra up a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. Describe it because it's still pinned. Take another harm, Umbra, as you hold it down so that everyone's able to attack without consequence, but you have to take the consequence of it for them.
I'm gonna say my plan is to go over to Umbra and I'm gonna start healing, but
Yeah.
we'll do Gordy first.
Absolutely.
Alright, so I run. I see the cursed sword, so I run towards it. I end up kicking up the other uncursed one. So okay. So in one motion, I grab it, I turn, and with an upward swing to the tentacles that Umbra is holding, try to cleave them.
All right. And
So-
what's your heart ability, Uncle Joe?
That basically it makes it. Let me look at it again. There it is. So I don't need to roll plus cool. You automatically help as though you'd rolled a 10.
Nice. So your help move succeeds. And so let's go ahead and have you roll kick some ass. Or actually, I'm gonna have you cut off one of the tentacles, easing the burden on Umbra for this
Okay.
as well. Like, because I feel like with Uncle Joe helping, I know you got your axe and you're like ready for action. So
Mhm.
your help move is to just like help carve the path for Gordy,
Okay.
let's say.
Okay.
For flavoring your help is a little bit more action oriented. So Umbra, you have a few
Do I need to roll?
rounds. No, you use your heart move.
Okay.
You don't need
cool,
to roll. So you're doing it. So Umbra, you have a brief respite as you see this glowing axe of Uncle Joe's cutting off some of the burden that you carry. Gordy, go ahead and let me know the damage that you deal on the antenna as Delilah is dropped free.
So I roll to kick some ass, right?
You don't have to because Umbra's like
Okay.
clearing the path for you.
So what damage does the sword do? I just picked it up.
Oh, it's true.
For
It's
sword
it's-
reference, because I have one. The big heavy two-handed one that I use is 3. A normal sword is 2.
I would say this one is 4 because it's a magical item in a layer of a monster.
Hell yeah.
Nice. So yeah, okay, 4. Do I have to roll or no? No roll.
No, there's no obstacles right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I do that and I slice through the tentacles. I'm like, all right, let's free you up a little bit.
So Delilah, you drop to the ground in front of this creature. The sword severs the tentacle off of the beast. There's a spurt of oil, like an oil well has been struck, and you're all covered in it, and it's burning and goopy, and there might be a little bit of human blood mixed in it. It's kind of hard to tell. Uncle Joe, your axe does help Umbra by cutting off some of the other tentacles. So Umbra, you're no longer taking harm because you're holding on to less. But Uncle Joe, your enchanted axe begins to vibrate and glow from the kind of gone awry magic incantation. And you feel your mundane self imbued with some of your family members' magic.
Oh.
You and 4 now kind of share the same hex ability,
Ooh. Okay.
which is a boon and a curse. So enjoy
Yeah.
that.
Okay. I mean, I don't think I just was. I feel tingly. What's going on? Would 4 know that I now have shared that ability, or?
I think 4 could see the glow on you, and like for a minute, your eyes flash black, and that's not characteristic of you at all.
Yeah, this is gonna be wild.
Is
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
is the monster still alive, or is it like in the? Okay.
It's in its death throes.
Okay.
It's kind of thrashing around. As you are all standing around it, with its angler severed and this oil kind of spilling around and filling the room. It's like rising up above your boot level, like to your ankles. It does a death call. And I'd like everyone to roll plus cool to resist its final attempt to ensnare you and preserve its own life.
I have a thing I want to try.
Do the
I'm
thing.
using a luck point.
Everyone go all in.
Because as is it opening its maw to do that?
Yes, all
I'm
the
going
teeth are
to
glistening.
just through and through. I'm just going to dive in and just carve through on the other side.
Holy
yeah.
shit. All right. Still roll plus cool, but that is what you're doing as this cry pierces your ears.
Okay. With my cool, I got a 9.
Excellent.
I got
6.
it with my cool. I got an 8.
Does anyone
that's
have
good.
luck? Burn your luck if you can do
I
it.
burned it. I'm burning
gonna
luck.
burn. Yeah, I'm gonna burn a
Yep.
luck.
Okay.
I have a 7.
Okay. Do you have any luck left?
Yeah, I think I have the one more. Yeah, I'll just burn it.
I'll burn a luck.
Actually, I want to look for Sarah, so I'll keep the 7 for now,
Okay.
just in case.
Go ahead, For.
What I want to do, and I want to, like, as this is happening, I want to use magic to bar a certain place from a monster, and I would like to bar, I guess, this neighborhood. I don't know how big of a place I can bar them from, but like as we're sort of like kind of like, all right, pretty soon we're gonna have to get out, and I'm like doing the math. I'm like, let me start casting a spell to keep this thing from reaching back in. I got a 6 on my cool, but I'm willing to like take whatever brunt of that to like do this particular act of magic.
Yeah.
Can I give him my other luck, or give them my other luck?
You cannot.
I would like.
Bummer.
The thing I want to do is, if I have to, I will use my luck on the barring the entry. So I'm
Yeah.
saving the luck. So I'm going to take the 6 on this other roll. So
Okay.
that I still have the luck in case I need it for this other thing.
So here's what happens. Go ahead and roll your use magic to see if you're able to bar it from being back in this neighborhood.
It's an 8, but I'm going to bump it up to a 12 with my last luck.
Okay. So as For concentrates on the spell, you are able to kind of keep it away from this space. And in doing so, you distract it, right? Like it feels the spell begin to set in, like it's just settling on the skin, like snowflakes falling down on it. And it's distracted by the magic being cast on it. And it forgets to chomp down on Umbra, who is currently making a journey through its gullet with a sword. You have
just claws.
Just
Oh.
claws.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going
Ooh.
feral. I'm
All
nearly
right.
dying.
Hell yeah.
Umbra's making the journey, claws out through a forest of teeth. You have saved Umbra's life in recompense for your own life that was saved by Umbra so long ago with the shadow monster. As Umbra tears through the end of this thing, it kind of explodes in an oily mess all around you guys, and then begins to slowly reform and gather and slinks away, barred from returning here, heavily wounded, hookless, eyeless, and in full retreat. And as it passes the form, Gordy, you are interested in finding Sarah. You see her body. She's got a broken leg. Her arm is completely ripped off of her body, and she's like bleeding out onto the ground. And she raises her head to look at you, but you're able to provide that first aid to stabilize her and bring her back through the portal. As all of the members of our Necronomicon make their way back through this horrific space, taking trips back and forth to see if there are any survivors, potentially looting some magical items, probably.
100% looting.
Yep. Me and Gordy are just.
Yeah, I need things to kill Dash. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I'm helping.
At the end, you notice 2 things. One, a tag from the creature that looks like a zoo tag. This was something that came from a zoo somewhere.
Oh.
And 2, as you go back out to the van, you see that the case that held your book is open and flapping in the wind and empty. And that is where we're going to end our adventure, where hopefully we can all get together again at some point.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
So fun. The book.
But yes, I want to give you time. I know we're like being a little over, but I just wanted to thank you all so much for playing and give you time to do promo and have Jess come back on and wrap us for this amazing event. Don't forget to donate for reproductive rights. Let's hear from everyone to tell us who you are, why you're awesome. And let's kick it over. On my screen, I see Shannon. Let's start with you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shannon. My nerd home is Paradise Productions. I'm our community manager, and I play my beloved redheaded rogue Scarlet over there on Monday nights. But I have been Delilah this afternoon/morning and have had an absolute blast, and so honored to be at this table raising money for such an awesome cause. And thank you, Allison, for an amazing game. And thank you to this lovely cast of characters. We absolutely need to go kick some ass another time.
Yeah.
This is great.
And thank you,
Awesome.
Jess, for inviting us.
Lex, let's hear from you.
I'm Lex, Titanomicon RPG on Twitter. I made Caltriple Core. If you want to make a TTRPG, you can in minutes today. It's free. Go do that. Hit me up on Twitter. TitanRPG.com if you want an easier, because like Titanomicon is impossible to spell. So TitanRPG.com, and I'll see you soon.
Awesome. Dare.
Hi, I'm Dare, pronounced she, they, they. I am a trans femme writer, editor, game designer, performer, yada, yada, yada. You can find me on the internet at Dare to Dream RPG, DARE, the number 2, DREAM RPG. And you can catch me at my main home, which is Transplanar RPG, and all trans people of color led D&D actual play set in a non-colonial, non-orientalist homebrew world, GM by the incredible Connie Chong. I've done that a million times.
Yeah.
Anyway, catch me there.
Amazing. KP.
Hello, everybody. My name is KP. I go by KP11 Studios on all your social medias. I do multiple different things. I'm a photographer. I do cosplay and portrait photography. I also get the opportunity to play amazing games with amazing people like the fine ones you see in front of you today. Currently, I don't have any of my campaigns running just yet, although next week, next week on Wednesdays, we have a campaign called Running Wild, which is a fun little isekai style D&D show where our characters were regular people that got sucked into our own D&D game and became the characters that they were originally going to be playing. So if that sounds fun to you and us being all sorts of chaos in that, then do check that out. Follow me to find that. And then starting next Friday will be our very first episode of Journey into the Radiant Citadel, which is a 12-part miniseries that we're doing where we go through and actually play all 12 or 13 stories or quests, so to speak, in the new Radiant Citadel book that's coming out. If that interests you, that's going to be a lot of fun. Come check that out. And then until then, that's all I have going. I'll be able to play one-shots and fun things with fun folks like this. I'm also a sensitivity and cultural consultant. So if ever you need someone with a fresh perspective on your work, especially on South Asian and Indian cultures and mythology and so on and so forth, come check me out. But yeah, if anything else, just say hi on Twitter. I practically live there. It's unhealthy, but hey, you do what you got to do, right?
I love it. Sid.
Hey guys, I'm Sid. I was playing Gory today, but you can usually catch me on Instagram and Twitter at _Sundance Sid. Also, every first and third Monday of the month, right here on Justice Channel with the Clerical Era Squad. I play Trell Birchwood, half elf, amazing person. That's my class, amazing person. And also on Wednesdays at the Games Tavern channel, on the Dirty D show at 7 p.m. Eastern. And anywhere else you want to see me, you can find me there. Just, give me a shout. I'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. I'm Allison. I'm Insight Checked. You can find me on Twitch at Insight Checked and on Twitter as well. Please follow me. I play a lot of RPGs. I would love to play in your game or run a game or just be a nerd with you. So please reach out and check us out. We do a lot of nerdy stuff, and I've had such a great time today. Thank you all so much. It's been an absolute honor. And thank you, Jess. And thank you, chat. Donate. It's for a good cause, and we'll see you soon.